today we're going to do an omelette. Now, an omelette sounds pretty easy, but yeah, it's a little bit tricky to get it really light and fluffy. We're going to do it two ways, one the traditional way and one with a little bit of a twist. So I've got my bowl with a whisk ready to put my eggs in. I've got my vegetables. You don't have to have all of these, just that I've put them here. But I've got basil in my little bag here. I've got capsicum, spring onions, mushrooms, tomato, red onion. I've got my eggs ready. Teaspoon of butter to put in the bottom of my pan. I've got tasty cheese, Parmesan cheese, mixed herbs. I've got some milk, pepper and salt, ham and salami. And I'm going to go and get some parsley out of my garden now. Right, so I've got my milk in my bowl. Now to crack an egg, you just crack it on the bench a little bit, put your fingers in there and open. Easy. Push it there just a little bit and crack it and open it. Now you don't have to use a whisk, I'm just using a fork and we're just combining that milk with the 2 eggs. 2 eggs is enough for one person. I'm putting pepper and salt in it. Okay, so that's our onion mixture. Now we want to get our other ingredients organised. So I'm going to cut my salami, put it onto a plate ready to take over to the stove, to the hob, top of the oven. We call it the hob. I'm going to cut my delicious mushroom into little pieces. Wants to run away. My tomato. So you can still use those little bits. I use the part that you don't want there. Okay. So then we have our tomato. Don't think I'll use all of that because it's probably going to be too much. So I could put that on a sandwich or into something else. Then we've got our, I'll do the capsicum. Now I'm just going to use the top because I want to show you something else with the other part for our second part of our omelettes. Now, so you can see how I'm sort of chopping and changing between my knives, but I'm back to my big knife because it makes it easier when you're doing a large amount of something. So my capsicum can go over there. Now my onion, I'll only need probably a quarter. So I'm only going to use a quarter. If I was at, well, I am at home, but I always, if I've got a bit of onion left over, I always cut it up, put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer for next time. So cut this way, then we cut across that way. Ooh, wants to run away. Everything wants to run away today. Put the onion in the middle there. Now my herbs. So I've got parsley and basil. They're all going in the one thing, so I'm going to fold them up into a little parcel. Then cut them that way. Bit of onions caught up, that's all right. Then you hold this tip and with your handle, you're using the edge and the heel of your knife to chop. So it's choppity, choppity, chop. I don't want them too fine. I'm quite happy with them a little bit rough. So I'll leave them there. We had to break eggs because you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. Right, now my butter is nice and hot, and I place my egg mixture in. Then what I'm doing is I'm going from the outside to the inside, and what I'm doing is making it nice and fluffy, and where I'm leaving a mark, the egg is going in to fill it. You can see it's nice and light. There's a little bit more that's raw there, so I'll try and get that into that hole. And we're doing well. So you let that cook for a little bit. And then I'm going to start placing some of the goodie ingredients in. And I'm only doing 1/2. And there's a reason for that. Tomato, yum, some capsicum. So it's chock-a-block, full of goodness. Now, what we need to do is flip it over. Except mine broke, but never mind. And what we're doing is we're going to slide it out onto the plate. And there we have an omelette. Now this is another way to do an omelette. I've cut out some capsicum rings, tomato ring, and I've put zucchini. And then I'm just going to pour the mixture, very similar to what I had. Ooh, I think I put too much in that one. Let's see. And I'm going to pour it into my rings and my zucchini. It's a bit of a mess. I'm just going to let that cook on one side. Let's see if I can put a little bit in that one. And then I'll turn them over in a second. So when one side was done, and you can tell because it's nice and brown, I flipped them over. And as you can see, these two cooked sooner because they're much thinner. Omelettes, boy, they're yummy. I like to take mine cold to the footy. Go Pies! But I hope you enjoyed them and practice your cutting skills. See ya!